So one of my rules is I don't do coffee or drink dates.
So he invited you for coffee and you don't know what to say? Well, I would say,
wow, I'd really love to get to know her over some dinner and a nice ambiance. He looked at you and said, Dunkin'? Starbucks?
I might tell men not to take women on coffee dates. Don't do it. Just stop doing it.
Somebody asked me to get coffee this week, and I dead ass said, in this weather.
The man, like, wow, really? Coffee? That's all you got, dude?
Video on why I no longer accept coffee walks or walks for a first date.
A lot of you are so concerned about what he has physically in his pocket that you're not paying attention to the fact that a lot of these men are not trying to waste hundreds of dollars to get to know you when a lot of you have personalities that are worthless. I'm just going to put it out there.
I f***ed it up because I didn't appreciate him. I wasn't prepared to understand the type of man he is or what type of man he can be for me outside of his income, right?
I know you guys have saw the videos of ladies who are refusing coffee dates with men, especially the young lady out in LA. She was too funny. Now I'm gonna just show you guys a couple of clips just to get you reminded right fast of what was said. They're not long clips. But then I'm gonna show you 2 clips of women who are speaking facts about why women choose not to go on coffee dates. But both of these women in their clips, they do expose female nature. So watch these short clips and I'm gonna come right back to my commentary.
Well, I'm going to get some pushback on this. I already know it. I always do. Every single time I tell men not to take women on coffee dates. Don't do it. Just stop doing it. We don't like it. We may tolerate it because we don't have the cojones yet to tell you no, but I'm going to tell you right now, you need to stop doing it. All go, oh, he asked me for coffee. But it's half our fault too, and I'll tell you why. Because we haven't let you know that we want you to talk to us on the phone first. And I'm going to explain this in a whole other video so you get it really clear. We know that when you ask us on a coffee date, you're sizing us up. You want to see if we look like our pictures, number 1, and number 2, and number 3. That's really the top 3 that you're looking for. Does she look like her pictures? Guys, come on. And then number 2, it's sterile and it feels like an interview. It feels like you're on the spot. There's nothing romantic about it. I mean, maybe once in a blue moon, lightning will strike and there's some chemistry, but it's so rare. It's usually uncomfortable and I would never want to see the guy again because it's just, there's no passion behind that. And it felt like an interview.
Yes, it sort of is like a job interview. Show up on time and you treat that man just like you would treat your male boss or your female boss. This coffee date can turn into an opportunity where you can meet a man who can change your life, same way a new career or a job can.
so he invited you for coffee and you don't know what to say? Well, I would say coffee is cute, but I would prefer you take me out to dinner. It will give us more time to get to know each other. Coffee is something I take when I'm running my errands and I'm not on errands.
Somebody asked me to get coffee this week, and I dead ass said, in this weather, it's gonna take more than coffee to get me to leave my house because I have a Keurig. And I thought that was really funny, but also like a bit of a metaphor of some sort, but also like I live in Canada. When it's negative something and I have a Keurig, I'm not leaving. Does that make me a bitch? I don't know.
No coffee dates, no thank you. At least that's what I say. And here's my top 3 reasons. I think I accepted a coffee date once. It was like so boring. We got our coffee, we walked around Starbucks, and that was it. But here's my top 3 reasons why I never said yes to coffee dates. 1, it's so low effort on the part of the man. Like, wow, really? Coffee? That's all you got, dude? Number 2, it's awkward. It's like, okay, you got a coffee, I got a tea. Now we sit across from the room there. How long do we sit for? Like, who says when it's over? It's kind of, I feel like it's an interview, all right? I feel like coffee was a job interview. And number 3, it's kind of boring. It's not sexy at all. Let's go for coffee. Booyah. I didn't really even like brunches or lunch, except unless it was on a weekend. But the couple of times I had lunch with someone as a date during the week, it ruined my whole work date.
Do not go on that coffee date. Do not go on that boba date. Do not go meet that man for drinks. This man saw you and his first initial thought wasn't, wow, I'd really love to get to know her over some dinner and a nice ambiance. He looked at you and said, Dunkin'? Starbucks? The amount of messages that I get from men that ask me if I like coffee. No I don't like coffee. I actually hate it.
Please ignore everything she just said. Isn't the whole point of a first date to talk and get to know each other?
Women really don't know that they be sounding like predators. Predators sizing up their target. That's all I hear out of these women. Decency is a forgotten word. Using people is just wrong. The fact that they had to get dressed up and put on some makeup or whatever, taking advantage of someone is still wrong.
So one of my rules is I don't do coffee or drink dates. Now, I understand that some women like this or prefer this because it's a quick turnaround, 30 to 45 minutes. If you don't like him, you can get out of there. It works for some people. If you like it, I love it. This video is not for you. Keep scrolling. However, for me, as for me and my household, we're going to have higher standards. I'm talking to this guy and I'm going to read it to you because we've been talking for a couple days and he started talking about meeting up. So he said, we should get together over some pear and lychee cocktails soon. And I said, that's really sweet, but I prefer dinner. I like to get dressed up. Now, I always try to say it nicely because I don't want to be like, I don't accept drink dates. Like, you don't have to be mean. You don't have to be, you can be nice about it. But I let's just say I prefer dinner because I like to get dressed up. And he said, I see. What type of places do you have in mind? So I sent him a list of places that I've been like wanting to try, all sorts of different budgets, okay? It ranges from like medium to a little bit higher, all different locations around the city so he can choose like what works for him, you know, timing and budget wise. So I sent the list of places. He says, these places sound really nice. I think it'll be fun to get to know each other over some nicer dining options. Here it comes though. But I wanted to let you know up front that if we were to meet at one of those places, I'm comfortable splitting the check. I usually will do drinks or something on the simpler end for the first meetup to see if there's a connection first. So my thing is, I don't like the coffee or drink date because they're trying to audition you to see if you are worth an actual dinner. This is the thing for me. Like, I know men. The number one thing men are judging you off of is your looks, right? When they see you, they meet you, they're gonna be like, okay, how beautiful is she? Is she put together? Do I find her attractive, right? That's the number one thing. Your personality may come second, sure, but the first thing is how you look, right? So with that in mind, my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer costs $32, okay? Why would I put on a full face of expensive makeup, do my hair, make sure my nails are done, make sure there's no hair on my body, and then come and spend 2 hours of my time talking to you for an $8 coffee or a $16 cocktail? Be oh so.
Sounds like she says she preferred dinner dates because she likes to get dressed up. Isn't it almost like, is she trying to use that as a justification for a higher price date or something? Just because you wouldn't put on all this makeup and paint, that means that the man has to take you to a 5-star or a non-chain restaurant? No, I think guys are better off just paying for an escort.
For real. Let's take it even deeper. When women go out with a man that they do not know, they take a huge risk. Men are crazy, okay? Do you watch the news? Like 1 in 5 men are violent. He could unalive you. They're like, oh yeah, he must have money in order to be able to pull a baddie like that. So my thing is like, what's in it for women? We've already spent more money than you by just putting our makeup on. We're in danger. Like, what's in it for us? So then all of that, plus this man is a pharmacist. Okay, you mean to tell me you make upwards of $150,000 per year, but you can't take me to $120 to maybe $200 dinner, 2 drinks, an appetizer, 2 entrees, and a dessert? Like,
imagine offering something to a stranger and they deny it, and then they send you a list of all the things they would prefer that you will offer them. In today's dating market, these women still do think that they really are the prize. No, the man that you want to pay for this date, he's the prize.
okay, you mean to tell me you make upwards of $150,000 per year, but you can't take me to $120 to maybe $200 dinner, 2 drinks, an appetizer, 2 entrees, and a dessert? Like, and that kind of thing. Look, men are supposed to be on their like best behavior when they're doing a first interaction with a woman. Like, that is when they are at their absolute best. So if he's being cheap now for a first interaction, he's gonna be cheap on your birthday. He's gonna be cheap on Christmas. Like, that kind of thing, that only gets worse. It never gets better. That is the type of man that's going to want you to work full time, pay half the rent when you guys move in together, do the majority of the housework because he doesn't want to hire a housekeeper, raise the kids, plan most of the things, and then after you do your 16-hour shift of labor, he's going to want you to be happy and sexy for him.
And it sounds like she made this video to complain about a man who refused to splurge on her on the first date because he don't know her yet. This is just insanity. And once again, she's one of those particular black women that, you know, are more arrogant than she really should be. Like, you know, no disrespect to this lady, but she's not even the first and second best looking one in her friend group. And she's out here talking about she won't even take coffee dates with guys. That's why a lot of men are not even bothering to deal with these Western women. But a lot of these women feel like they want men to come out of their pockets. Everything is so transactional nowadays, and that's what a lot of guys don't like. That's why a lot of men are checking out of the Western dating scene. But finally, I'm going to show you guys a lady who was speaking straight facts regarding coffee dates or whatever. Check this out.
Ladies, on some real shit, a lot of the videos that I be posting, like far as dating, be from experience. Like, we all know there's guys out here who ain't shit, right? But when I met a man, and I mean a man who displayed masculinity, leadership, and, you know, maturity, and successful and remarkably handsome, I it up because I didn't appreciate him. I wasn't prepared to understand the type of man he is or what type of man he can be for me outside of his income, right? Like, I was playing games, I was lying to him all the time, I was emotionally immature, I was argumentative, and not to mention, like, at that time, all I really had to offer anyway was a piece of coochie, a bad attitude. I really didn't have that much feminine etiquette, and I didn't really give nurturing and submissive vibes. So I had to learn, it doesn't matter if he in or not in a relationship with a woman. Coochie cleaning and cooking we all can do. But when you add that with, again, making him feeling desired, respected, and appreciated, and you can speak those words of affirmation into him, that's how you show him you're different.
I said this in my last video that it's good to see more women calling out other women.
I have a question. I took a girl out for ice cream, but because she said yes to ice cream, she got more dates, ziplining, go-karting, and Lantern Festival. Now, a lot of you are going to say things like, well, why would I go on a first date with a guy who offers me ice cream? Why wouldn't you? A lot of you are so concerned about what he has fiscally in his pocket that you're not paying attention to the fact that a lot of these men are not trying to waste hundreds of dollars to get to know you when a lot of you have personalities that are worthless. I'm just going to put it out there. Why not go on a date with a guy that offers coffee or ice cream? Isn't the point of going on a date to get to know someone? Or are you more interested in figuring out how much money he has so that you can go back and brag to your homegirls how you snagged a 1%er or a 20%er or someone who has money? A lot of y'all are very shallow. And a lot of the comments that I read on this post were very shallow. It's just filled with women who sound more like they're looking for a trick instead of looking for a man like this who is actually a treat. Number one, he's taking these women for ice cream because, right, he's trying to have a level of discernment on whether or not they're worthy of getting those types of dates. Things like ziplining, that's adventure, right? Go-karting, that's adventure. If those are the things that he is into and he's trying to figure out if you're into those things too, he's going to take you to a place where he is going to actually be able to talk to you and figure out your mindset. A lot of you women think because you have a pretty face, a fat ass, a little waist, and big titties, that makes you dateable. No, oftentimes that makes you fuckable, but it doesn't make you marriage material. You all need to get outside of the fact that you look a certain type of way, because while your looks may grab his attention, your mindset is what's going to keep him. And let's be clear, women like me who are average looking based on a lot of you, we're out here snagging 10s and 12s because a lot of your attitudes are stank because you won't go on first dates like ice cream and coffee. I like ice cream and coffee dates. Why? Because I'm not going to sit across you for an hour and have a conversation over a meal if I don't like you. I'm going to be honest. I love his mindset, and a lot more men should have this mindset. Stop tricking off on these women that don't deserve your money. Make them earn that shit, especially if they're looking for a provider. Why would you want to provide for a woman ultimately who has a stank-ass attitude, who is not aligned with your life, and has a poor mindset? Because this mindset is also going to be raising your children. And for all you women in the comments that were talking about that's a red flag, the only red flag that I saw was a lot of you are petty and you're looking more at a man's wallet instead of his characteristics. I hear a lot of you talk about you want a man that provides, but what type of character you want this man to have? Do you want this man to have integrity? Do you want this man to be respectful? Do you want him to be loyal? Because I didn't hear none of them comments. All I heard you all talk about is what you want him to spend.
because that is what all these ladies want to do. They simply want to use these men for bragging rights, to get on social media and post this dinner date. A lot of these ladies just want to run back and tell their friends that, oh, we went to this nice restaurant, he took me to a nice place, and her friend asks her, girl, did you like the guy or not? And she said, he's okay, he's not really my type, but he's a nice guy, and I'm gonna let him take me out a couple times more to really see if I like him. When really she knows she just wants to use this man for future restaurant dates. That's it.